to see you again. I've been simply breathless to pick up all the news.
I really don't think it's wise for you to come here, Mr. Jack.
Jasper, come here.
Oh, nonsense, nonsense. It's just like coming back home.
Quiet, Mr. Jack.
Yes, and we must be careful not to shock Cinderella, mustn't we?
She's in the morning room. If you lead through the garden door, she won't see you.
I must say I feel a little like the poor relation sneaking around through back doors. Well, toodaloo, Danny.
Goodbye, Mr. Jack. And please be careful.
Quiet.
Looking for me? Oh, I didn't make you jump, did I?
No, of course not. I didn't quite know who it was.
Yes. You're pleased to see me, aren't you, old boy? I'm glad there's someone in the family to welcome me back to Manderley.
And, how is dear old Max?
Very well, thank you.
I hear he went up to London, left his little bride all alone. It's too bad. Isn't he rather afraid that somebody might come down and carry you off? Danny, all your precautions were in vain. The mistress of the house was hiding behind the door. Oh, what about presenting me to the bride?
This is Mr. Favell, madam.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Well, won't you have some tea or something?
Well, now, isn't that a charming invitation? I've been asked to stay to tea, Danny, and I have a good mind to accept. Oh, well, perhaps you're right. Pity, just we're getting on so nicely. We mustn't lead the young bride astray, must we, Jasper? Goodbye. It's been fun meeting you. Oh, and by the way, it would be very decent of you if you didn't mention this little visit to your revered husband. He doesn't exactly approve of me.
Very well.
That's very sporting of you. I wish I had a young bride of 3 months waiting for me at home. I'm just a lonely old bachelor. Fare thee well. Oh, and I know what was wrong with that introduction. Danny didn't tell you, did she? I'm Rebecca's favorite cousin. Toodaloo.
Do you wish anything, madam?
I didn't expect to see you, Mrs. Danvers. I noticed that the window wasn't closed, and I came up to see if I could fasten it.
Why did you say that? I closed it before I left the room. You opened it yourself, didn't you? You've always wanted to see this room, haven't you, madam? Why did you never ask me to show it to you? I was ready to show it to you every day. It's a lovely room, isn't it? Loveliest room you've ever seen. Everything is kept just as Mrs. De Winter liked it. Nothing has been altered since that last night. Come, I'll show you her dressing room. This is where I keep all her clothes. You would like to see them, wouldn't you? Feel this. It was a Christmas present from Mr. De Winter. He was always giving her expensive gifts the whole year round. I keep her underwear on this side. They were made specially for her by the nuns in the convent of St. Clair. I always used to wait up for her, no matter how late. Sometimes she and Mr. De Winter didn't come home until dawn. While she was undressing, she'd tell me about the party she'd been to. She knew everyone that mattered. Everyone loved her. When she'd finished her bath, she'd go into the bedroom and go over to the dressing table. Oh, you've moved her brush, haven't you? There, that's better. Just as she always laid it down. Come on, Danny. Hair drill, she would say. I'd stand behind her like this and brush away for 20 minutes at a time. And then she would say, "Good night, Danny," and step into her bed. I embroidered this case for her myself, and I keep it here always. Did you ever see anything so delicate? Look, you can see my hand through it. You wouldn't think she'd been gone so long, would you? Sometimes when I walk along the corridor, I fancy I hear her just behind me. That quick, light step. I couldn't mistake it anywhere. It's not only in this room. It's in all the rooms in the house. I can almost hear it now. Do you think the dead come back and watch the living?
No, I don't believe it.
Sometimes. I wonder if she doesn't come back here to Manderley. Watch you and Mr. De Winter together. You look tired. Why don't you stay here a while and rest? And listen to the sea. So soothing. Listen to it. Listen. Listen to the sea.
Tell Mrs. Danvers I wish to see her immediately.
You sent for me, madam?
Yes, Mrs. Danvers. I want you to get rid of all these things.
These are Mrs. De Winter's things.
I am Mrs. De Winter now.
Very well, I'll give the instructions.
Just a moment, please. Mrs. Danvers, I intend to say nothing to Mr. De Winter about Mr. Favel's visit. In fact, I prefer to forget everything that happened this afternoon. Maxim, you've been gone all day.
Choking.
Oh.
Well. What have you been doing with yourself?
Oh, I've been thinking.
Oh, what did you want to do that for?
Oh, come in here and I'll tell you. Darling, could we have a costume ball, just as you used to?
Now, what put that into your mind? Has Beatrice been at you?
No, but I feel that we ought to do something to make people feel that Mandalay is just the same as it always was. Oh, please, darling, could we?
You don't know what it would mean, you know. You would have to be a hostess to hundreds of people. All the county. And a lot of young people will come up from London and turn the house into a nightclub.
Oh, yes, but I want to. Oh, please. I've never been to a large party, but I could learn what to do, and I promise you, you wouldn't be ashamed of me.
All right, if you think you'd enjoy it. You better get Mrs. Danvers to help you, hadn't you?
No, I don't need Mrs. Danvers to help me. I can do it myself.
All right, my sweet.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. Well, what do you go as?
Oh, I never dress up. That's the one privilege I claim as the host. What will you be, Alice in Wonderland with that ribbon around your hair?
No, I won't tell you. I'll design a costume all by myself and give you the surprise of your life. Come in.
Robert found these sketches in the library, madam. Did you intend throwing them away?
Yes, Mrs. Danvers, I did. They were just some ideas I was sketching for my costume for the ball.
Hasn't Mr. De Winter suggested anything?
No, I want to surprise him. I don't want him to know anything about it.
I merely thought that you might find a costume among the family portraits that would suit you.
Oh, you mean those at the top of the stairs? I'll go and look at them.
This one, for instance. It might have been designed for you. I'm sure you could have it copied. I've heard Mr. De Winter say that this is his favorite of all the paintings. It's Lady Caroline De Winter, one of his ancestors.
Oh, well, that's a splendid idea, Mrs. Danvers. I'm very grateful.
Everything under control, Frith?
Yes, thank you. Excuse me, sir. Are you supposed to be a schoolmaster?
Oh, no. This is just my old cap and gown.
Certainly makes a very nice costume, sir. And economical, too.
Yes, that was the idea.
Evening, Robert. Not very good weather for the ball.
No, sir.
Very misty on the way. And very chilly.
Oh, this wig's so tight they ought to have sent an aspirin with it.
Hello.
Oh.
What's the idea, Adam and Eve?
Oh, Maxim, don't be disgusting.
Strong man, old man.
Oh,
Where's my weight thing?
what thing?
You haven't left it in the car, have you?
Oh. Oh, there it is.
You were the first one down?
Yes.
Where's the child?
She's keeping her costume a terrific secret. Wouldn't even let me into her room.
Oh, lovely. I'll go up and give her a hand.
I could do with a drink.
When'd you catch cold in that thing?
Don't be silly. Pure wool, old boy.
Pardon me, sir. You forgot this.
Here I am, dear. It's Bee. I've come to give you a hand.
Oh, please don't come in, Beatrice. I don't want anyone to see my costume.
Oh. Oh, well, you won't be long, will you? Because the first people will be arriving any moment.
Now, you're sure that's where that should be?
Yes, madam, it's just right.
Oh, isn't it exciting?
Indeed it is, madam. I've always heard of the Mandalay Ball, and now I'm really going to see one. Sure, there'll be no one there to touch you, madam.
Do you really think so? Now, where's my fan? Now, you're sure I look all right?
You look ever so beautiful.
Well, Here goes. Good evening, Mr. De Winter.
What the devil do you think you're doing?
But it's the picture, the one in the gallery. What is it? What have I done?
Go and take it off. Doesn't matter what you put on, anything will do. What are you standing there for? Didn't you hear what I said?
Sir George and Lady Moore. Blood Lieutenant, Admiral and Lady Burbank.
I watched you go down, just as I watched her a year ago. Even in the same dress, you couldn't repair.
You knew it. You knew that she wore it, and yet you deliberately suggested I wear it. Why do you hate me? What have I done to you that you should ever hate me so?
You tried to take her place. You let him marry you. I've seen his face, his eyes. They're the same as those first weeks after she died. I used to listen to him, walking up and down, all night long, night after night, thinking of her, suffering torture because he'd lost her.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You thought you could be Mrs. De Winter. Live in her house, walk in her steps, take the things that were hers, but she's too strong for you. You can't fight her. No one ever got the better of her, never, never. She was beaten in the end, but it wasn't a man, it wasn't a woman. It was the sea.
Oh, stop it, oh, stop it.
You're overwrought, madam. I've opened a window for you. A little air will do you good. Why don't you go? Why don't you leave Manderley? He doesn't need you. He's got his memories. He doesn't love you. He wants to be alone again with her. You've nothing to stay for. You've nothing to live for, really, have you? Look down there. It's easy, isn't it? Why don't you? Why don't you? Go on. Go on. Don't be afraid.
Shipwreck! Ship on the rocks!
Ship aground, sending a rocket.
Shipwreck!
Come on, everybody, down to the bay. Notify the Coast Guard.
She's aground!
Maxim! Maxim! Ship ashore!
Come on, everybody!
Come on! Maxim! Maxim! Ben, have you seen Mr. De Winter anyway?
She won't come back, will she? You said so.
Who, Ben? What do you mean?
The other one.
Frank, have you seen Maxim anywhere?
Not since about half an hour ago. I thought he'd gone up to the house.
No, he hasn't been in the house at all, and I'm afraid something might have happened to him.